A postal worker was killed and one woman is under arrest this morning.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. I wanted to do this one on the New York City postal worker who was stabbed to death by a woman. It's not a woman, trans woman, happens to be a man with a lot of history, which I'm going to show you right now, of violent behavior, and especially with a knife. The media is reporting this as a woman. Number one, not one has said trans woman. Number two, they're not even reporting that this person has a violent past. So let's just get right into this. Thank you all so much. I hope you're having an awesome new year so far, but it's already starting insane, of course. But I'm going to keep bringing you the truth about these trans situations because it's completely out of control. And it's disgusting to report it as a woman stabbing a man because that's not what happened. So with that, thanks for liking, subscribing, helping this channel grow. We're going to do so good this year. I just feel it in my bones. So let me just get on with this first one I'm bringing up here.
A deli counter turned into a scene of a deadly stabbing.
A postal worker was killed and one woman is under arrest this morning. Let's get right to Good Day's Briella Tomasetti. She is live outside that bodega in Harlem. And Briella, investigators believe this all started over who was next in line to order at that deli.
Wow.
Yeah, Tashani and Dan, good morning to both of you. All literally over a sandwich. That woman, the suspect identified this morning as 24-year-old Jaya Cruz. She has been charged in the murder of 36-year-old Ray Hodges, who was killed on the job yesterday. He was stabbed to death here in the deli behind me in Harlem. Now, Cruz could be arraigned on second-degree murder charges as early as today. Let's get right to her being escorted out of the 28th precinct yesterday. It happened shortly before midnight. Cruz was covering her face with a black hooded sweatshirt and avoiding questions from reporters. According to police, the attack happened inside Joe's Grocery on Malcolm X Boulevard and West 118th Street at about 2:30 yesterday afternoon. Hodges, an on-duty postal worker, was found with stab wounds about the body and rushed to Harlem Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Police confirming with us this morning that the stabbing followed an altercation over a spot in line and that a knife was recovered at the scene. Neighbors tell us they ran into Hodges all the time on his daily route and are in complete disbelief that this even happened.
So I'm going to show you a little bit here, but let me just play a couple more of this. First off, they continually calling him a woman. Okay. He's not a woman. He's a transgender woman. Okay. Number two, they're going to not talk about the past history, which I'm going to show you here in a minute, of knife abuse. It's so upsetting that they're calling this person a woman. Every single video I tried to find calls this person a woman. And it's not right that they're doing that because it's a trans woman, number one, has a history of violence. And it's so insane. Anyway, it's upsetting to me the way the media does not report these things properly. So let me show you this one. I'm getting ahead of myself because I've been watching this all morning long. I've just been getting so mad about it.
Prosecutors are now charging a woman with murder after police say a dispute escalated with her stabbing a postal worker several times inside a bodega in Harlem.
And they say that this was all over a sandwich. Eyewitness News reporter Phil Tate spoke with the worker at the bodega who saw the whole thing happen.
Good afternoon. That deli worker is back to work. I spoke with him just a short time ago. He says during this argument, he came out from behind the counter to calm down the situation, but his efforts wouldn't be enough. That's as an argument over who ordered a sandwich first turned deadly. Well, Jaya Cruz, the 24-year-old who is now in police custody, yes, she's been charged with murder, and that's the person who police say had stabbed down this postal worker who was on the job.
Again, reporting as a woman. Okay, that's number two.
Started this argument. Deli workers say this was all over a sandwich, an argument about who placed their order first. Investigators say the 24-year-old alleged assailant is in custody, a person with no obvious criminal history. A friend of that person says she would not have attacked anyone without cause.
She's a nice young lady. She is not the type that just come out in the street and attacking people. This is just a bad neighborhood. What had happened, I have no idea because I was not around here.
Oh, wow. This is a nice young woman. She would never do anything like that. What are you talking about? Wait till I show you. Secondly, wait a minute. There they are. Alleged, when no, it's not alleged. They arrested. Secondly, with allegedly no prior history. Do your homework, journalist, reporter, because I'm going to show you right now that they do. So this is all the, I guess what you all like to call the liberal media reporting on this. So watch this one. This one is actually really, really important.
24-year-old Jaya Cruz has been arrested for the crime. Witnesses say she got angry and started to argue with Hodge over who was first in line to order. Deli workers say they saw the whole thing.
I separate them. The male guy in the front, the lady, she was in the back. She's spilling him in his face.
Witnesses claim in an instant, Cruz pulled out a knife and fatally stabbed Hodge in the stomach. In a statement, a spokesperson for USPS said it, quote, takes matters involving the safety and well-being of Postal Service employees as a top priority. Officials say Hodge worked as a mail carrier since the summer of 2022.
She spit in his face. She spit in his face. Okay? Then she pulled out a knife and stabbed him. What? So, wait a minute, people. Do you see the violence these trans women constantly? There's so much of it. I could do like an hour long, maybe 3 hour long of all the violent trans women that are out there. She spit in his face and pulled out a knife and stabbed him to death. That's literally what happened. It's fucking, it's so disgusting. So I don't know if you guys know who, I think they're called the Hodge twins. They're these two guys, conservative black guys that I like watching them. They actually have Blair White on their show. So I think that they're clearly not transphobic, but they're realists like I am as a trans person. And I'm going to call this trans woman who's a biological male out, and the media needs to report this properly. It's actually not okay that they report this as a woman. So I want you to see what these guys, after watching this situation, say about trans people. Okay, watch this.
For you to do something like this, you're mentally ill. Yeah, well, it all goes to culture. What? It all goes to culture. Like trans people are, you can say they have a higher propensity for violence, for being in your face, to pushing. I mean, just look at their way of life. They push their beliefs on other people. They force you to comply and affirm who they are. Well, that's why they have like when Joe Biden say they have a high risk of death, they die at high numbers. Right. It's because they participate in risky activities. Yeah. They're usually sex workers. Right. Or they're just violent people. Right. I mean, like I said, it all goes culture. They just, culture. I mean, the whole way of life is about being in your face and forcing you to comply what they want you to do. Yeah. Look at the news media. They even calling her a woman when it's a biological male. They don't even call her a trans woman. They're so scared and in fear of what these people do to them. No, this is what they're pushing.
See? That's what I'm trying to show you all, trans community. When you do these kind of things and then you don't out the people in our so-called community and hold them responsible, then people like these guys and majority of the world are looking at us like we're all these people. And I get lumped into that space, okay? It is disgusting and wrong. And now they all think we're mentally ill. I'm not mentally ill. I have a mental disorder. Big difference. This person is a 100% mentally ill, psychotic, crazy person, okay? Because a normal person doesn't go around stabbing people. So there we have people. This is how the majority of people feel about trans people now. And they do represent a major way that the world starts to feel about us. And it's why it's important, not only for my voice, but Blair, but all, Marcus did, like a lot of us trans people who are speaking up and trying to show you that we're not part of this. I don't want to be a part of this. This person is a crazy person, and I don't know why they're transgender. Now, I also want to say this. I am literally like kind of blown away that, we are not talking about this person as a trans person, and that if this was the opposite, if this was an actual what you like to all call cisgender, let's say a normal, just a person who stabbed a trans person, you don't think the whole media would be all over this? Oh my God, a cisgender person killed a transgender person. You and I both know that. But now it's the opposite. It also happens to be a person of color, a black man who got stabbed by a trans woman. Okay. And where's BLM? Where's everyone freaking out on that? So you see how this trans agenda has gotten everyone so brainwashed and gaslit that no one else can say anything. If it was the opposite, you and I both know if it was the opposite way. So I want to show you this. Okay, so look at this. I'm going to read this from Fox News, and they are showing you that a suspect is in fatal stabbing of postal worker in New York City deli over spot in line, has a history of knife violence. Okay, so this is why it is important that you all understand what's going on here. The woman accused of stabbing a postal worker to death over a spot in line at a Harlem deli has a history of knife violence and once threatened to cut one of her previous victims. Jaya Cruz was arrested at least 5 times before she allegedly carried out the ruthless killing Thursday, law enforcement said. In July 2020, Cruz was caught waving an open box cutter at another person in Midtown West and shouting, "I'm going to cut him." Jaya Cruz, who authorities described as transgender, was charged with second-degree murder Thursday of the stabbing and slashing of an on-duty letter carrier Ray Hodges inside a Harlem deli. So the person is trans. They've been identified by authorities as trans. Okay. We know that they are trans, but no media is saying that. It's mind-blowing to me that no media is saying that. So with that, I'm going to let's just send love to the family of Ray Hodges, and let's send lots of healing energy. And this is disgusting. And let's really be honest here. This is not a woman crime. This is a male on male crime. And we need to be honest that this is a transgender woman. It is not a woman. And the media needs to start reporting this stuff. And it's disgusting and wrong. And who are these violent trans women? There's so many violent trans women. Why? What's going on? Just like what the Hodges twins said. They said there's a lot of mental illness and something is going on. And I hope this year we can start to really discuss this and bring it to attention. And why is this happening? And why was this person even out roaming the streets who has already had, like, I think they said 5 previous situations happen. So with that, thanks so much for watching. I just feel so sad about the whole thing. Thanks so much for watching and subscribing and commenting. I appreciate you guys so much, and I'll see you guys all on the next one.